Analysis of a Renaissance alchemist lab reveals the presence of a surprise element. When famed 17th century Renaissance astronomer Tycho Brahe was not gazing at the stars, he turned his hand to the deciphering of makeup of matter here on Earth. The exact nature of his chemistry, however, has remained something of a mystery. A team of researchers from the University of Southern Denmark and the National Museum of Denmark's carried out an analysis of the handful of glass and ceramic shards recovered from Brahe's lab 35 years ago, identifying clues on what his alchemy studies may have entailed. On 4 of the 5 shards, enriched levels of several trace elements were found: nickel, copper, zinc, tin, antimony, and tungsten, gold, mercury, and lead. And it suggests these elements, including the gold and mercury, often used by alchemists to treat diseases, featured heavily in Brahe's experiments. Mercury? I thought that was poisonous to humans. Now, most intriguing are the elements found in higher concentrations than expected, indicating enrichment of providing insight into the substance used in Tycho Brahe's alchemical laboratory, says physicist and chemist Kien Lund Rasmussen from the University of Southern Denmark. Mass spectrometry was adapted for the chemical analysis when sample molecules were converted into charged ions to figure out their composition, giving us clues as to what went on in Brahe's state-of-the-art underground lab on the now Swedish island of Ven. The most intriguing discovery here is the presence of tungsten. It was not actually identified as an element until 1781, so what was it being used for in a lab that was demolished almost 200 years prior? It may have been incidentally separated from a mineral within Brahe's understanding its uncharacterized nature. Alternatively, it's possible that the scientist was building on the works of German mineralogist Georgius Agricola, who had previously made the first steps towards identifying tungsten in tin ore. Maybe Tycho Brahe had heard about this and thus knew of tungsten's existence, says Kar Lund Rasmussen. But this is not something we know or can say based on the analysis I have done. It's merely a possible theoretical explanation for why we find tungsten in the samples. Brahe lived in an age where sharing experimental knowledge was not necessarily the norm, especially in the field of alchemy. Brahe's only hold on a select number of people about this part. He told a select part of people of this part of his research, but we know he was working on developing medicines for diseases such as the plague, syphilis, leprosy, and fever. Like many of his contemporaries, Brahe believed in the correspondence of the heavens, earth, and the human body. And so, for example, the sun, gold, and the heart shared common features, and indeed, in an early study of Brahe's remains suggested that he may have taken gold as a form of medicine himself. It may seem strange that Tycho Brahe was involved in both astronomy and alchemy, but when one understands his worldview, it makes sense, says museum curator Paul Grider Hansen from the National Museum of Denmark. This has been published in Heritage Science, and it's on Science Alert by David Neild. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.